Back in the 1980s, Marantz had a monster of a cassette deck. One that was going to compete with reel-to-reel, believe it or not. It had 2 tape speeds, 1 7/8 and 3 3/4. And in that speed, it would match the quality of many reel-to-reel machines. I'm talking the SD9000. I have one in here for service. It needs a bunch of stuff done to it. There's going to be a pretty long video because I was running into one thing after another. Let's check it out. This time this is a Marantz SD9000. Nothing's moving. So there's no reels turning on this unit. Where's the switch? There's a switch here that I gotta... Oh, there it is. Oh, that reel's seized, for one. These reels are seized up, for one. Now, anyone that knows anything about these decks knows there's an Achilles heel, an unobtainable part that's part of the auto stop, and the opto sensors, the optical, or the optical sensors. They are probably shot on here as well. But certainly the hubs are seized up. So let's take this one apart and see where we're starting on this one. Just what I needed, another tape deck that the belts have turned to goo. I just got all this crap off my hands, and now I got to start over another one. Looks like solenoids are stuck. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, this one. Goes with this light. I just had it on. What's this? Screws in here. These are hex keys that here I got to take out to remove the front panel. I have to remove this front panel from this unit. Now this will lift off the front here. We'll see why this thing's not turning. It's probably another belt. It's all chewed up. Yeah, the counter belt is all chewed up. I gotta clean this mess out of here. And what a mess it is. This idler is probably also shot. I'm just getting the control panel out of the way, just so it's not getting damaged and it's not in the way. I got to remove the deck on this thing here. First of all, this first belt I'm going to clean up. This one here is melted, and there's an idler that probably needs to be replaced in here as well. Guaranteed it's going to need to be replaced. There's probably two idlers actually. I have them though because the guy that owned this, he ordered a kit. So I've got the belts and the idlers to do it. I think there's 6 screws I got to take out here to remove the tape transport. There's 2 here, and there's 4 on the bottom. And then the transport should lift out. 4 screws on the bottom need to also come out. With a little bit of work you can get this up. Be very careful that you don't knock off the clips, the hubs here, otherwise the springs will throw your tape hubs flying across the shop, and looking for them is always a pain in the ass. Now this one here is totally stiff. This one turns okay, but this one here is frozen. I have a feeling that maybe a piece of the belt, because even with the brakes off, it's really stiff. I have a feeling that a piece of the belt probably gotta pop this off. A piece of the belt probably is wrapped up to the around the shaft below here. I think that's probably what's happened, because the belts failed on this. I'm sure I'm going to find just jammed up belt in there. I gotta pop this apart. I got gloves on because I know this is gonna get really messy. I hate any of these devices that have bad belts. I gotta pop this off and try not to lose everything else that's in here when I do it, because there's like 3 pieces to this. Pop the top off, and then there's another piece below that comes off, and then the hub itself and the spring come off, and then I can remove this once I get the brakes out of the way. Well, it's all gummed up, that's for sure. Here's the opto sensors down here that go bad on these. The LEDs get weak on them, but this is yeah, the lubricant in there is basically turned to glue. Just cleaning with isopropyl alcohol. Now we'll put a bit of oil on there and put the hub back together. Got to clean out the groove where the belt rides too, because that's full of belt goo. This is the optical sensor here. It interrupts the sensor every half of a turn. That's for the auto stop. We'll clean up this pulley. Yuck. Alright, after cleaning up the goo left behind and putting some oil, fresh oil on here, we'll slip that one back in place and put the hub back together. I'll do the same for the other one. I'll clean the other one up too, because if one's bad, the other's also going to be probably needing a lubrication. I hate working with gloves. I really hate gloves. They get in the way. How anybody can work every day wearing gloves, I don't know, because I certainly I hate it. But I'm doing it on this one only because I don't want to get covered in this black crap. Okay, so that one's back on. We'll remove this other one. I'm going to clean this other one. This one's not so bad. It's not gummed up like the other one, so I think just a drop of oil will probably suffice on this one here. Just put a drop on there and let that run down into the bearing. Because this one had not turned to glue like the other. This one's clean. The other one was all glued up. Okay, that part's done. We got to remove the driver board for the motor driver board. And I think I've got to remove the motor too. I got to get to the flywheel to change that belt out and clean it up. I can probably do it without taking out the motor, although I do have to clean the pulley to it. It's a mess. We'll remove this retainer for the circuit board, and we'll remove a 1/4 inch. That might be a 1/4 inch. Is that a quarter? Yeah, 1/4 inch. And I'm already getting remnants of old belt. I hate these things when these belts go like this, because the little remnants of crap that falls out, you don't see it, like this piece here that just fell onto the bench. You don't see it, and it ends up falling down, and then somebody steps in it, and you track it all through the house, and then, well, then things aren't good. Then I'm sleeping on the couch. That's what happens. We'll remove the motor. That should lift out, I think. Oh, there's one more over here. I do have to get behind this motor because I do need to clean off the shaft for it. You'll notice I'm being very specific where I'm putting the different screws. Some are on the right side, some are on the left side. That's how I remember where things go. Yeah, wonderful. Let's clean this off first. Once I get all this black crap out of here, then I can lose the stupid gloves. Yeah, I think I got most of that crap out of there. Now we'll deal with this, which has got much of the belt still remaining on here that's just melted to the surface. I think I got the flywheel more than clean enough. That's got all the rubber off there now, so at least I won't be turning black every time I turn, or my hands won't be turning black every time I touch this thing. They already are black, just from what got through the gloves when the gloves ripped. Okay, I think I can mount the motor again, and well, no, maybe not. Yeah, I probably can mount the motor. We got to get to these little sensor boards down here as well to work on them, but I think I can get away with putting the motor back in. I'll be able to still get to those boards with the motor on. Yeah, I can do that. So we'll mount the motor again with the special standoff type screws. Isolation screws. They're mounted in rubber grommets such to isolate vibrations from the motor from getting into the chassis. And there is a spacer of the washer down here. You gotta be careful you don't drop that, or you'll be retrieving it. It should be magnetic, I would think. I can get that out of the way. Just put that out of the way there with the screw. These opto couplers fail on these, and they need to be rebuilt. I got newer ones. The newer style, however, are too big to fit. This is the problem, is that the parts are obsolete. Now there are kits that you can get that come with the newer style optocoupler. They're not expensive, but there's a bit of work involved changing them because they haven't had these parts available for years, but you'll see what the difference is. Right? Look at the difference in the height for them. So these new ones obviously are not going to fit. So what we need to do is we need to open these up and get the components out of them and put the components on and remove these old style of optocoupler. Now the board's marked. We know which side the transistor is. The transistor is on this side and the diode is on that side. And again, we know that because these are also going to be marked, I think, which one's which. But we're going to pop these apart anyway because we do need to get the guts out of them. We got to kind of line these things up too, so we got to glue. Oh, they're a big job. It's a much bigger job than what a lot of people realize. You got to take these apart and get the guts out of them. So what we need to do is break off the plastic so that we can get the photodiode out, or the infrared diode out, and the other side we have to get out the phototransistor. So we just need to break the outer housing apart to get that. And try not to turn this into an episode of Big Clive stabs himself with a screwdriver while we're doing it. Sorry, couldn't resist. And this is the phototransistor. Okay, I have to break off the alignment stands, which I've done. These have little holes in them to direct the light onto the phototransistor, for example, and from the diode itself. And we have to put these over here just to shield the phototransistor from other light that might be nearby, and I'm going to have to glue these down. I'm going to probably just use my Bondic because I can just put a little dot on the side and turn the light on and cure it. Do this quickly. So that's going to sit on there like that, I believe. Yeah. So I'll just put a little drop of Bondic right here on the base, just to hold this in place. That's all I'm going to need probably. I'll do one on either side. Turn the light on and cure it. Do the same on the other side. And now that cover is on, and we'll do the same for the LED side. Line this up with the emitter. Put a drop of Bondic on there and set it. The same as on the other side here. Get a little drop on there. Okay, that's one that's ready to replace onto the circuit board over here. I'll just remove the old sensor and put the new pieces back in place. All right, we'll mount the new parts. The LED, the infrared LED is the one with the clear back. The black back is the actual photo transistor. So we'll mount this one in here all the way down. And the same for the photo transistor with the mask facing inwards, obviously. Put these in all the way down and then solder them in place. And then rinse and repeat for the other one. The first one's mounted back in place. Let's deal with the second one over here. Same thing. Remove the screw that holds the unit in place. Remove the unit. And replace the photo sensor with discrete parts like we did on the other. Optical sensors have been replaced. These old ones actually used to use a red LED and the new ones use infrared. But the result is the same. As the tape spools turn, they block the light from the LED, making it over to the photo transistor. I got to change some idlers, which means I had to pull the flywheel because I got to pull out the deck assembly now. I got to pull the reels out to get to the idlers that are shot. Wires all tied down in place. got to change both these tires, you see. The tires are worn out on both sides of this. And what holds this in place? See, this is riveted in. I can get to this back tire here, so I might be able to change that without having to take this off any more than this, because the tire is broken, as you can see. What's with all the damn birds? You know, I didn't even notice it while I'm working, but while I'm editing, all I can hear is birds. There, retired that one. Okay, so I've got the flywheel back in place. I can now mount the capstan motor again. And then we'll replace the belt. Get the belt in place, and I can start to put the chassis back together, and hopefully everything's going to work. Well, it didn't work when I got it, so can't do any worse than that, right? This supposed new belt has been in the bag so long it's actually taken on a shape all of its own, and there's not very much elasticity to it, so I hope it's okay. But we'll put it on here and see. That belt actually feels very tight. Like it feels much tighter than I think it should be, but that's the belt that came as part of the kit. So that's the belt that's going on. Let's get the flywheel back together. Place the two belts that go around the reels, the tape hubs that go to these idler pulleys. I think these might be part of the. Are these sensors? I don't know if they're sensors or not. They might be part of the either they're part of the braking system or they're part of the. I think they're just idlers. Pretty sure these are just idlers. They're just there to keep some tension on the tape hubs. That's probably all that they're there for, but there's two little belts that go around to these little pulleys. I don't know what they do, but belt kit came with it, so it's installed. And they were rotten, they were falling off, and just like the others, they'd all turned to mush. Now to drop the chassis back in. It is easier if you loosen off the screws for the power supply board as well, which I've done just to make it a little easier to get back in than it was to take out. I got to reconnect the wires for the deck. This one goes down under here. Yeah, it's ugly. We'll deal with tidying those up later. I also want to make sure it works. So I'll plug the control back in. We'll give this unit some power. And turn it on. Okay, that part works. Why is it flashing? Clock has not been set. I guess that's why. We'll load the tape up and see whether the tape moves. Let's try fast forward. That works. Counter's going forward like crazy. Let's try rewind. Okay, rewind's a little bit sluggish. Why is that? I mean, it should have plenty of torque. It's got new idlers. It's rewinding, but it's maybe it's the tape. Let's just turn the tape over. See whether the tape goes better the other way. This tape says NFG on it, so yeah, okay. It's going good there. Okay, how about play? Oh. Okay. Why is it not going into play? The pinch roller is not fully engaging. Why? Let's stop it. the head's going up. If I push the button in here, interesting, and this is not turning. So what else was wrong with this thing? Obviously there's more problems than this. I don't know the history on it. Fellow that brought it to me, I don't know whether he's had it for a long time or whether he just picked it up off eBay and ordered the belt kit and idler kit for it, knowing that it was going to be bad. I don't know the history. But it's got more problems than what it was brought in for. It was brought in to have the belts replaced and the update done for the sensors, which obviously work, because if they didn't, it would shut down. Right? That's what they are for. They are for the automatic stop. So if I hit reverse, for example, it stops. Right? For after a few seconds, you'll see it goes and it stops, because the take-up side is not turning. But if I turn the take-up side, then it keeps going until I stop it. It's still spinning. Right? Now it'll stop. And the same with fast forward. If I put it into a fast forward, it will run. It's measuring this sensor on this side. It's not doing anything for this one. But if I stop it, then it shuts off, which it does. So that part works. The sensors are working, but why is it not going into play? God damn, something else is wrong with this thing. I guess I have to pull the chassis again and see why the pinch roller is not going all the way up. I don't know why it's, I mean, maybe it doesn't turn on the motor until it finishes the loading cycle, until it goes all the way up, but it's not going all the way up. When I hit the pause, I can see it pull the pinch roller back, but it's not going up as far as it should for playback. Something sticking it. I'm just going to pull the front off of it here and see if I can observe anything underneath here with the front cover off. So at this point, I'm not going to pull the chassis. I'm going to pull the front cover, pull these screws out again, pull the front cover back so that I can see if there's something sticking. Okay, now I can try to power this up. Let's see what this transport is doing, why it's not going all the way up, or what. Like, even when I push it all the way up, it's not making contact. Something is holding this down. Like, it's not completing the loading cycle. It's not going up far enough. It's not going up far enough to engage the pinch roller. It's also not going up far enough to engage the play idler, which is behind here. That's the third idler that gets pulled into the it gets pulled into the capstan shaft, and that's what drives the take-up spool once it's in play. But it's not being driven up far enough, because even the pinch roller is not gripping. So something is stopping this from going up all the way. I gotta pull this apart again and see if there's something sticking. God damn. After staring at this thing for probably, I don't know, it's like 8:30 at night now. I've been on this thing for like 4 or 5 hours. This is stuck. This little lever here is stuck. When this goes up, that is supposed to press up against here, which pushes this up. When this goes up, that lever is supposed to turn and push that up. But this lever is jammed right there on the pivot point. I bet you if I just pull on this thing a bit, it will move. Throw the light in there so I can see what I'm doing. This is stuck. Yeah, that's stuck. That should return on its own. Alright, let's just take this Jesus clip off. And will this pop off? It'll probably go flying. But yeah, this is gummed up. Now they should have used a plastic part on here, then it wouldn't have seized up. I was wondering what the hell was holding this thing up so it wouldn't go all the way up, but that lever there is stuck. So we'll just take that out of there and clean that up with some alcohol and put some oil on there and put it back on and see whether it works. The extra oil, I'll just get down into the mechanism here to help. Mechanism where it slides. That's better. Now it makes contact. Now it makes contact. Excellent. Okay, I think this will we'll fix this one up now. I'll put the E-clip back in place. Sometimes we call these things Jesus clip. You know why? Because if it takes off, you say, Jesus, did you see where that thing went? Or you just say, ah, crap. Or stronger words than that. There. That clips back on. Now, if I pop the solenoid up by hand, if I pull the mechanism up, the pinch roller and the idler is turning. So that should get this part working. That's all nice and loose. It was just this one arm down there that was all gummed up. Okay, I guess we can put it back together and try it a second time. Before I put the front panel on this, I've got it plugged in. I want to see whether it will do anything, whether it'll play. How do I do this without this on? Whoops, not like that, that's for sure. There we go. Okay, let's see. Does it fast forward? Yes. Does it rewind? Yes. How about play? Sounds fast. Is there a pitch control on this thing? It's got a double speed. Yeah, this has 3 3/4. Okay, that works. It's a little bit sharp. There's a bit of flutter in there. I can hear it. Not much I can do about that though. That'll be either the belt is too tight or the belt itself is not perfect, although it looked to be okay. Looked like it had been sitting in that bag for about 10 years though. I want to put this one back together. I think it's okay. The speed is a little bit off. I don't even know where the adjustment is for this thing. I'll have to look into that and see whether I can find an adjustment. I don't think it's on the motor on this because this is a servo controlled. It's got a lead that comes off here and goes down to the board for a frequency generator. So, and there's nothing much I can do about that. That's going to be things like the pinch roller or well, it's a new belt, so it could be the belt, but the pinch roller is more than likely what's going to cause that. And we didn't change the pinch roller, so just got to get the front panel back on here. Throw some screws into it. It's now 9 o'clock at night. I've been working on this thing for oh, I don't know, too long since the afternoon. Video doesn't do it justice because there was a lot of stuff that was not recorded. Like I did change the third idler, the play idler, but I don't know if I don't know if I had the camera running then or not, because it might not have been able to see anything. My hands were in the way, so I don't know if I had the camera actually rolling when I changed. I know I got the two up top here. I got those. The other one was in behind the flywheel. I did it when I had the flywheel off. Okay, that's got the unit back together. Well, the top's not on it yet, but that's got the unit back together. We'll give it a test here on some tape. Rewind, fast forward, play. I think this could probably use a pinch roller at some point. But it's working. It wasn't working when I got it. It wasn't doing anything. Now it's working. There is actually a speed adjustment on the motor itself. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach into there with my screwdriver, but we'll try. See whether I can get it down where it belongs, because I say it is a little bit high. But there is an adjustment that's down here. If I can get in there without shorting anything out, we'll try it. Impossible to get in here. You gotta be kidding. I mean, it sounds like shit because a pinch roller is, you know, I mean, it needs a new pinch roller. It's simple as that. I mean, the fellow that owns this is going to have to source that. He sourced the parts for it when he brought it to me. But if he wants the pinch roller, he's going to have to source that and pay me a whole bunch more money to take this freaking thing apart again to change it. Because you gotta rip everything out to get at it. It's because it's in behind here. Actually, you might be able to take just the front piece off and get to it. The front nose piece off. Might be able to get to it from there. But it needs a pinch roller. It needs a pinch roller. But that's not what it was brought to me for. It was brought to me to do the rotation sensor mod, get the rotation sensors working, and to change the belts and the idlers, which on this machine is a major job. But it's done. So it's done. It's working, and it's not sounding too bad for an ancient unit like this. Now, when you're listening to music, the average person is not going to know that that is a little bit sharp. You're never going to tell. counter's working like it's supposed to. Fast forward, stop, rewind. Everything's going good, no spilling tape. Right into play. I better clean the controls. I'll give the controls a shot of cleaner before I throw this together, and then we'll get it out of here. Okay, that control's quiet now. Let's go to source. And that other control is down inside here. Let me get into here for the recording control. There. Quiet. That's the mic control. I don't think anybody's plugging microphones into this thing. Alright, I'm going to say this one's done. Hope you guys learned something on how to mod these machines. This is not the first one of these I've worked on. We did lots of them back when I was in the business. Back when you could get those sensors, get those optical interrupters, they call them. If you're wondering why this was loose, I just hadn't tightened up there's washers in behind here, but I hadn't tightened them down, so now this is not loose anymore. You just tighten these up finger tight. Oh, okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.